Well, it is Sunday Night Live, Material Issues, September 21st, 2025. We're back, and this is episode number 220. Nice
Wow.
round number. I'm Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records. I'm over here in beautiful South Jersey today with a gorgeous day to hang out with my doggies and take some long walks. But joining me, as always, all the way on the other side of the country. It's late in the afternoon there. Mr. David Bash, the president of the International Pop Overthrow Music Festival over in sunny Southern California. How you doing? How you doing, David?
Well, as some people who are watching know, I have COVID, so I'm not doing that great. But fortunately, I'm not doing that badly either. For me, COVID usually manifests as a bad cold and a runny nose, occasional fever. When I had it in Liverpool, that one day it was really awful, and then the next day I was fine, but I still couldn't go to the cavern because I had COVID. So I usually at night my temperature goes up, but I haven't felt really miserable. Fortunately, I haven't felt great, but I'm doing okay right now. I hung out outside a bit because as you said, it's sunny California and it's warm.
Yep.
So it felt good. But yeah, here I am. No way was COVID going to stop me from doing this show with you. And well, for my brother Joel got it first, and I got it a few days later. And I mention this because we probably both got it back east when we did our little trip, and I haven't had a chance to talk about that. And I don't want to take up too much time with that because I could probably talk for 30 minutes about it. But my brother and I hadn't spent that much quality time together since 1986 when we also went back east. At that time, it was for me to buy a minor league baseball card collection, which I'm really glad I did because it went up in value really fast. But yeah, so I was wondering, are we going to get along? Are our habits going to bother each other or what? But we got along great. We had a wonderful time. We saw childhood friends. Both I saw some friends that went to grade school with me, or middle school, actually, seventh grade. My friends Mark Marinoff and Joel Kelson. And I was jealous of both of them back then, but for different reasons. Mark was a great athlete, among the best in school, and the girls just loved him.
Yeah,
So, of course, a lot of us were jealous of that. I was jealous of Joel because he was probably the smartest kid in school, or at least in the classes I was in with him. He didn't come off that way. He was a little bit awkward. So he didn't quite have the poise, but you could tell. I mean, this guy was brilliant, and he still is. So we had a really great time up in Poughkeepsie, where I grew up. And we took in a Yankees game the next day, Joel and I, that is, and they won 9-3. It was a game Trump showed up. It was September 11th. Who we should have figured, but everything worked out great. And let's see what else. Well, then we met another childhood friend, mostly of Joel's, but we met him in New Jersey. We did lots of record shopping. I got some great stuff, which I forgot to bring in, but maybe another time. And Joel got some amazing memorabilia because that's what he's into.
Right. Yeah.
And we won't give away the farm here too much, but we're talking about doing a show on collecting, and I really want to get him on.
Yeah.
He's been reluctant to do it, but I'll keep working on him.
And we will put this out there just so people know we are putting together this idea of doing a show on the psychology of collecting and why people collect. So if anybody out there in material issues land has a friend or knows somebody who has a big collection, it doesn't have to be music. It could be anything.
No, in fact, we would rather it not be, probably, because we know enough record collectors.
Yeah. But, so if you know somebody who's a collector of stuff, and let us know. Drop us an email, materialissues.com or over on Facebook group, and we'll see. We're going to try to gather 3 or 4 people to join us and talk.
Definitely some females as well. I mean, I know a couple who would qualify. who are as passionate about their collecting as a lot of my male friends. So it'll be nice to have a bit of diversity. So yeah, we'll talk more as this develops further. But anyway, so we found this amazing. Well, we didn't find it. Joel knew where it was. I was in Livingston, New Jersey. So we go out there, and it's in the Livingston Mall, and that mall is practically deserted. It almost looked like the Twilight Zone. There were some stores that still had stock, but no one was in them. Virtually nobody was in the mall. Macy's was still open, but it too looked fairly deserted. So we go downstairs and we find this memorabilia place. And let me tell you, it was the best memorabilia store that either of us had ever seen. Just, you saw some of the video. It was just so immaculate, and they had stuff from so many different areas of collecting. And the prices were reasonable. Some things they were too high, others not. But let me see if I can show this, and I don't want to break it, but I actually found something. It was only $25, which I still can't believe. This is a Ricky Williams bobblehead. It's about 2 feet tall. And I actually had to go to UPS for them to pack it so I could put it in my bag and make sure it didn't break. And it worked fine. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. $25 for that. That's those kind of. Joel even said those things usually go for $200.
Well, you're not in Miami Dolphins country, so maybe
that's it. Yeah. And people have forgotten about him. Which, I mean, now there's a guest. Oh man, would I love to have him as a guest on this on material issues? Yeah. What a remarkable life he's led. But anyway, so we had a great time doing all that kind of stuff, and we get home, and then a few days later, Joel texts me saying I have COVID, and at that point I didn't have it, but I'm not surprised that I did get it. So yeah, so please forgive me, people, if I start coughing or I have to leave the room because my nose is running. So we'll just roll with it as well as we can here.
Probably, I mean, it kind of worked out good for us in some ways, in that we were going to get together when you came down through this.
Oh
way.
Yeah,
was
all you would have needed, right?
Just because I was having a hard enough week with the heart ablation, which worked out great, and then 2 days later I've got kidney stones and I strained my Achilles heel. All I would have needed was to add COVID on top of everything of that. Yeah. It would have been good. But I missed getting together with you guys. I was looking forward to that, but it just didn't. What timing wasn't.
Yeah, it's a shame. There are a few other friends that we couldn't get together with either for various reasons. But yeah, in this case, it was a blessing in disguise because we wouldn't have wanted you to have COVID on top of everything else. I'm wondering if some of the people we did get together with got it. We don't know when we got it. It was most likely either at the game or in the airport where there were a bunch of people around.
Yeah.
So who knows? But anyway. Well, it'll run its course for both of us. I know Joel's starting to feel better, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But let's see what else. So when I got home, I went to a 7-Eleven the next day and found a new variety of Diet Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew Trolley Cherry Lemon Zero Sugar.
That actually sounds good, cherry lemon. Yeah.
Sounds like medicine right now for you.
Yeah, right. But
it is definitely very good. I don't know if they're doing cans yet, but I've seen bottles.
Look at that. Remember back in the 70s when we only had like Coke, Pepsi, Mountain Dew?
Well, I remember the famous All in the Family episode where Mike told Gloria that he could tell the difference between I think it was Gloria. I don't think it was Archie. Coke, Pepsi, and RC, or he called it Royal Crown for his name. Yeah. She didn't believe it. She said it all tasted the same to her, but he was able to do it, and he kind of threw it in her face, which pissed her off. But she, so it was kind of funny. But yeah, we had Coke, Pepsi, Royal Crown Cola. We had
7-Up.
We had 7-Up. We had Tab as a diet soda.
Tab was the diet. Yeah, Squirt. Fresco.
Oh yeah, we finally started getting other things like Sprite came along.
Yeah. But all this zero sugar, all these different things, but most soda machines had 6 choices, and and they weren't. If it was Pepsi side product, you'd have the Coke side, and vice versa. But
well, here's the thing with me. When diet soda in the late '60s had cyclamates instead of sugar, I loved it. It tasted great. Then they went to saccharin in the '70s, and it was just piss poor. Yeah, so I stopped drinking diet soda until the '80s when they went to NutraSweet, which I really liked. Then they found out that caused cancer, so I was off of diet soda for a while, and then they started doing. I don't remember what they started putting in it in the mid '90s, but before they started doing zero sugar, but it was some other sugar substitute that worked like great.
Zevia or something, that monk fruit or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It was something weird, but I lament Red Rose iced tea in the can. I used to love the Red Rose iced tea in the can. That was the most addictive.
Oh, they don't make it anymore?
Don't make it anymore. They stopped making it many years ago. And of course, Tab was one of my favorites, and Fresca and those kind of things.
Fresca, that was always around too.
That was always around, yeah. But I mean, just it's funny the change just in soda culture. Of course, everything that we have nowadays. I tell my daughters back in the '70s, we only had 3 TV stations, for God's sake, 3, 6.
Well, we had the 3 major networks, but most cities also had local stuff. Like in New York, we had Channel 5, which was WNEW, Channel 9, WOR, Channel 11, WPIX. You probably had. We had probably get those actually where you were.
We had 17 WPHL. We had Channel 29. There were a couple of those, but I mean, still on a Friday night, your choice was limited as to what was going to be on. And
don't forget UHF.
Yeah, UHF and
Channel 99 or whatever it was.
Holding their rabbit ears so something would come in. Right. Did you ever? I mean, there are probably people out there going to remember this, and I will probably date myself and probably accuse myself, but there were, even in those days, there were adult stations that had nudity. And if you could tune in the rabbit ears on a VHS thing, you could almost see boob and stuff. And you would sit there going, oh, it was great. It was incredible. But you couldn't really see it. You couldn't, like, it was all fuzzy, but it would flash across every once in a while. And, as a coming of age young man,
so to speak.
It's
COMCUM, either way. But
just brought that memory
back. Where was that information when I was a teenager? Damn.
I don't know.
Then HBO came along, and occasionally you'd see a boob on that.
Yeah, the occasional HBO boob. That's a great song title. Anybody out there? The occasional HBO boob.
That's right.
But of course, we talked about my heart ablation. All went well. I'm dealing with kidney stones right now, but I did get a chance to sneak out last Tuesday to a local place, the Scottish Rite, to see the orchestra, which is ELO, basically ELO tribute band anymore, because I don't think there's any original. Eric Troyer joined ELO part 2 later, but Cliff Hillis is in it. We know Cliff well, and Glenn Burtnick, who was on our show, he's in it. Parthenon Huxley is supposed to be the lead singer, but he was ill, so he couldn't do it. But still, what a great show. I mean, Cliff was fantastic. And ELO is one of those bands, I absolutely love them, but they went through 20 songs in the show, and every single one, like when they played it, you were just like, oh, I forgot how good this is. And I forgot. And they just have a slew of hits. And you forget about how much ELO was all over the airwaves. And then when they play all 20 of them in one show, it's just, wow.
That had to be awesome. I got to see Jeff Lynne do that in 2001 when he came out to LA to record his with some cable special, and I got to go to that. And it was wonderful. Yeah,
really good. And I mentioned earlier, I just got this book. It's a 2019 book, and I don't know why. A couple of days ago, I was watching an old movie musical. I forget even what the movie was because it wasn't anything I ever saw before. And I started to wonder how, when you have all like the dance scenes of some of these old artists and they're dancing and the choreography is so good and the background dancers are great and the music's all orchestrated and they're singing and it sounds perfect. I said to myself, how did they do that so well back in like the 40s and 50s with these musicals?
Right.
And then I read online that there's this book called the Movie Musical, and
Nice.
it's a huge book where this author Janine Bassinger goes into all the specifics on how they did so much of that in all these old movie musicals, and how they did everything, how the director got these shots, and how they essentially were lip syncing to a lot of different things, but they just did it so well. And this book is going to answer a lot of it. I just started reading it, so I know it makes me look a little fey, but I don't care. It's
Fey, God. Well, that's interesting. You should bring that up because one of the reissue tracks I'm playing is by somebody who was a stage who was known maybe more for being a stage actor than he was for being a recording artist. And of course, he did lots of musicals, and I don't see anything fey about him. But no, I mean that's a stereotype. But
it is a stereotype. But it's like, oh, you like movie musicals, but I do love movie musicals. I was just watching an old Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers film today, and it's just. A lot of times some of the acting can be hokey in it and things, but when they get into the dance numbers and the full orchestration, it's really well done, really well done.
Oh, sure.
And this book is going to explain to me how a lot of it was done. So,
well, maybe we could get her on the program. Sounds like a good guest if she.
It would be.
A hold of her.
It'd be very cool. Always thinking. Yeah, there you go.
Got to think of that stuff.
But we did that. Oh, and then the other thing I wanted to bring up just before we get into some music and things, because we do have some new music to play. But one thing that's driving me crazy, watching pro football today, and I know I'm going to get slack for this, but I don't think there's any other pro sport where the athletes act as much as like a 12-year-old as pro football players do. They score a touchdown, they do a big play, and they basically are air humping and they're wiggling their butt. They get down and they're doing the swim. And they're doing all the shit.
Posing for the picture.
Yeah, and these are adults, right? These are adults being paid millions of dollars, and they're acting like 12 years old. And I'm thinking, well, baseball really doesn't do that. They might hit a home run and give a fist pump, but they don't stop and go, and all.
Well, there are some guys who are doing stuff like, making physical remarks to the opposing dugout, and stopping at third base.
But that's that's not every play, and these guys.
A lot of the younger guys are doing that, and
you don't get that in NBA basketball. They don't make a 3-pointer and then like lay down on the ground and act like they're humping something because the game's going on. They got to keep playing.
Now, basketball and hockey, that wouldn't work because it's just too fast paced. And
hockey scores their goal and they like have a long slide. They'll raise but they don't go into all this silly, stupid shit. And of course, golf has decorum, tennis has decorum. They all have decorum, but not in pro football. Pro football, they essentially just do whatever they want to do.
Well, as you said, it's right for that because after they score a touchdown, there's time. Everything has to be moved around anyway, so there's time for them to do that silliness. Baseball's just not nearly as intense of a sport as football. So I think the combination of intensity and time to do it causes these players to really want to have that release. I'm not condoning what they do, but I'm not condemning it. It kind of bothers me a little bit too, but
I'm not condemning it either. But I'm just saying it's annoying to the point that you can't get away with that in any other profession, including other pro sports. Nobody really does it. If I walked into a board meeting and said, "Yeah, look at the numbers; they look great." Woo!
Well, it depends. If you were one of those young, those young corporate Google type places, you probably could. You know how they all are when they get 1 million people. They start hooting and hollering and celebrating and making a shambles of the office. So, what you're see, here's the thing: football is also a young person's game. Baseball is not. Baseball is much more of a traditional game, and even when the young people who play it, they don't act like they don't act like youth. football is very much a young person's game. It's very cool, and the kids love that stuff.
Yeah,
And they love it. And football, as we said, allows for it. Baseball doesn't. Basketball and hockey don't, for different reasons. But football does, and they do it. Again, it's more of an offer of an explanation rather than condemning or condoning.
I get it. I just like to tune people up. I know I'm going to hear about it.
I'll tell you what I don't like about football, and I've never liked this, although as an adult I hate it more. I don't like the fact that you've got these athletes, these super athletes out there playing for all this time, and the game gets decided by a non-athlete kicking a ball. If it were up to me, I would get rid of kicking. Not kicking off. Kicking off's fine. I would change the rules to make. I hate this thing that it always goes into the end zone. I know they're doing it because they want to avoid injury, but I like it when you couldn't reach the end zone and you had to return the ball. So I would do is I would get rid of field goal kicking and extra point kicking. If it means ties, so be it. But I can't stand that some pipsqueak ends up who can't run, who can run a 100-yard dash no better than I can, is deciding this game. Not right.
Well, that brings me, and I'm so glad you even said the kicker, because that brings me 2 other points I wanted to make. Number one, I was curious about this because today the Los Angeles Rams kicker got his second field goal attempt blocked by the Eagles, and the Eagles won. 1 second left, they blocked the field goal. But he had made a 51-yarder earlier, 46-yarder, and the college football games yesterday, I was watching these, 58-yard field goals as if it was nothing. So I Googled how many field goals in the entire 1970s were over 50 yards long? You know how many? Or over 50
that were made? Made? Oh, God, virtually nothing compared to
one in all the 1970s over 50 yards, and that was Tom Dempsey's 63-yarder.
Wait, wait a minute. Are you sure about that? That doesn't sound right to me.
Look it up. Google it. I Googled the sucker, and they said there was a lot of attempts over 50 yards, but only one was made over 50. That was Tom Dempsey's 63.
That means that he shattered the record by at least 14.
By a lot.
He's a 63-yarder.
And then in the
1980s, that doesn't sound right. I mean, I'm not disputing you per se, but
check it out. If I'm wrong, if people can correct me, but
that seems crazy. But who knows? I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm trying to remember.
But in the 80s, 28% of field goals were made. In the 90s, it jumped up to like 48%.
I don't know. Kickers have gotten way better. I have to give them that. And I was thinking about that today, too. They have gotten way, way, way better.
And then you talk about the super athletes and what they've changed in the game to avoid injuries. And they've changed the game so much to protect virtually everybody from getting hurt, which I hate that, I do. But the whole big furor over the tush push now with the Eagles.
Oh, yeah,
they want to ban it because, of course, it's great for the NFL. But the tush push, in just the way the play's manufactured, it's one of the most dangerous plays you could possibly have in football. Yet they're protecting everybody by not allowing, but they're allowing what really is a gang pileup, in the end zone or for a quick little gain, and they're fine with that. And
because as you said, the fans love it, but the criticism is less about injury than it's just too automatic. You can't stop it.
You can't stop it because the offensive line knows when the snap's going to happen, and they get lower. And as long as you get lower than the defense, you're going to get that 1 yard, and there's no way to stop it.
But you know what? Every team has the same opportunity to do it.
Oh yeah.
Some teams can perfect it, and others can't. Well, that's on the ones who can't.
I'd love to see it gotten rid of because it does make the game boring every time it's 4th and 1 and you do tush push.
No, I don't like it either, but I can't. If the criticism is that, it's too easy, well, then you do it. If it's so easy, you guys do it too.
Yeah.
Not every team can do it.
Oh, I know. I just find it boring.
The Eagles have perfected it. No, I got that. Believe me.
So, I mean, that's my sports rant for today. It was just bothering me that that the players, they were doing some like just awful dances and things today. And I was just like, come on, guy, you're 24 years old, you're an adult, you're making $5 million a year. Do you really need to act like a clown?
Well, you know what though, athletes are by far the most immature people around. I mean, think about it.
That's all true, but of the 4 major sports, I think football players tend to be the smartest because they actually go to college.
Absolutely.
Hockey,
the plays they have to remember. Shit, I wouldn't want to do that.
Hockey and baseball players have historically been known as the dumbest on the planet because they generally don't spend an ounce in. You tell them, Grandpa. That's right, John. They don't spend an ounce of time, in college at all. But
there it is.
Generally do, and NBA players generally do a little bit. But hey, John, good to see you. How you doing? I hope you're well, buddy. Haven't talked to you in a while.
Hope you don't have COVID. I haven't seen John, so you wouldn't have been able to get it from me. But
but yeah, that's our rant for. That's all I got. I got my new movie musical book. We talked about the football babies. I saw the orchestra. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm done ranting.
All right. Well, I'm glad I was able to join in with your rant because I've never liked games being decided by kickers. I shouldn't say never. When I was younger, I didn't care, but as an adult, it's like, no, I don't like it. But they'll never change that. So, I have to live with it. If somebody said to me, well, then don't watch football. I couldn't argue with that. I'm going to watch football, so I'll deal with it.
That's kind of for everything. If you don't like it, don't do that. Don't.
I mean, really, don't. It's not, especially when it's something you're never going to be able to change. So,
and I try. Not a whole lot bothers me in this world, and I pretty much fly pretty low key and under the radar. But man, sometimes I'm just watching the game and that kind of shit goes on. I go, really? And then I'll go one step further. We know you're multimillionaires. Do you really have to be playing the game wearing all the gold and the earrings?
Hey,
I'm not. You're not getting your. And I even Googled today you see all these guys with the long dreadlocks down in the middle of their back.
Yeah,
it actually is legal to grab them by the.
Oh yeah. Well, Ricky Williams was on our team. I say ours as a Dolphins fan, and they were grabbing his hair all the time. Hey, Terry, great to see you.
Nice
our guest from a couple of weeks ago, Terry Tudor of the Numbers. Great to see you.
So because I had remembered years ago, I watched a game and somebody was pulled down by the dreadlocks and they called a flag, but they changed that whole rule now because so many people are having, because you couldn't even tackle somebody because the hair was down covering their whole back.
If the hair's in the way, what are you supposed to do? So you should be able to grab it.
But I think there's almost an unwritten rule in football that if a guy's going past you, you don't just grab him by the dreadlocks and yank him down.
No, I've seen him do it.
That'd be so easy to do. I'd be so tempted to just go, dang.
Well, if you grab somebody by the hair, they're usually strong enough to get away. So
there's probably enough.
Depends how good a grab you get, I guess.
Probably enough hair gel or whatever. You probably slide right out of it anyway.
No, that's true. I mean, if you could put on stickum, well, you should be able to put on hair gel. And really, I mean, what's good for the goose? Well, anyway.
Anyhow.
Well, let's play some music. It's been a while since we have, and I have a whole bunch of stuff just waiting to be played by a lot of really great bands. One band that I love and I would love to have at IPO, but it's probably going to be might be virtually impossible until I bring IPO to where they live, is the Autumn Hearts from Australia. I'm trying to remember which city they're from. I don't at the moment. But a really good kind of power pop band with some psychedelic flourishes. They have a new album called Mr. Sunshine. And I don't think it has anything to do with Lonely Days by the Bee Gees. But I'll say this, it's a really good record. And I believe it's self-released. And let's play a track from it called Sink or Swim. Here we go. The Autumn Hearts on Material Issues.
Town train. There's a bright hope that the sun will break out and shine again. Sometimes it's a train. There's a bright hope that the sun will break out and shine again. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, but sometimes it's a train. There's a bright hope that the sun will break out and shine again. Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you're into that 80s style jangle, you know, that almost Paisley Underground college radio sound, this band does it really well. The band sent me, you can get the record from them directly, and it's probably on Cool Cat, their website. I don't know, but you know, if it's pop related, they probably have it.
Yeah, indeed.
So yeah, the Autumn Hearts, the album's called Mr. Sunshine, and that track was Sink or Swim. So there you go.
It is funny. I mean, that's a really great sound to that album. And I was over at the restaurant last night behind the bar for a couple hours just to get out of the house. And there's a good regular customer that comes in quite often, good friend. I've known him forever, but he does work with the big Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo and whatnot, but he also works concerts and things, and he loves music. And we were talking music. He's like, yeah, the music business is dying, and there's just no more good music being made anymore. Now, he doesn't know what we know. So I had to go, you know what? Yeah, you're not hearing all this great music because it's not in any place that his kind of person, his age, whatever, that would hear.
Sure.
It's not on radio. It's not in the malls. It's not wherever you may be. It's not. But trust me, there's a ton of great music being made. You just got to know where to find it.
So you got to know where to find it. You've got to be willing to take the time to explore. I mean,
exactly.
There's so much of it out there. You've got to listen to a lot of it to decide what you like. You know, there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people like him.
Yep.
Who are part of the mainstream or not even in the mainstream music scene because they gave up on it. They don't even listen to any music anymore except maybe what they grew up with. And they'd be astounded. I mean, I've met plenty of people. I mean, the trick, of course, that we all really want to figure out is how do you get this knowledge into their hearts, minds, and ears? And it's, it's very, very expensive to do, unfortunately. But
even with the use of like Spotify, because you could put in sounds like the Beatles, and you're going to get all this stuff. But a lot of these people don't even know to do that, or they don't take the time then to explore and say, okay,
they don't take the time,
and
you really should,
because it's not when they get in their car and turn the radio on. It's not what's on the radio. So that's where we grew up hearing everything was the radio initially. That's where you heard it. But there's still
and that's what they're used to. They want to be spoon-fed everything. I mean, those people are used to being spoon-fed everything. You think about what was on the radio, when we were growing up, what was in top 40. Well, it could have been a whole nother set of 40 songs.
Yeah.
And they would have liked those too. I mean, It's just the way it was. Whatever people got spoon fed. I mean, it's not random. There are certainly other factors involved, but basically, whatever they heard and heard on repeat, because radio stations would have a playlist, they generally liked, and that's what those people who are our age or maybe even a little younger, that's what they're used to. And most of them just went on with their lives to do other things, and music just became, it fell out of favor and wasn't part of their culture anymore. But so today it would have to be. So you said it's on Spotify. All you have to do is put. No, they don't want to put anything. They want some magical force to press the button for them and play the song for them.
But a lot
that's not going to happen.
Well, a lot of them don't even, like I said, they don't even know that exists to do that. So
they don't, and that's true. A lot of them don't know.
Their mind, if the Beatles don't exist anymore, the Beach Boys don't exist anymore, or ELO doesn't exist anymore,
right?
Then nothing exists except Taylor Swift, who exists, or
right.
Ariana Grande, who exists, and you see them on TV,
right?
See them at the award shows, and you see them at the Super Bowl, and they go, "That's all that exists," because that's all it is. But that's not true.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, we know, and our listeners know that not to be true. Unfortunately, people who buy records from labels like Pop Detective and who go to shows like IPO, they know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not a lot of people. The one thing we can say, though, and we'll always be able to say, is those who do know and do like it, they like it a lot.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of other people who, if we could spoon feed them the music we love, would love it too. But how do you do that? That's the conundrum.
Well, they can watch Material Issues.
You can watch Material Issues. That's true.
Songs like you're about to play.
Yes, and I'm about to play a band from Yorkshire, UK, who I like to call Crowded House of Yorkshire, because they're fronted by a duo, Matt Johnson and Paul Copley, or Copley. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. And they just have that beautiful kind of harmony sound that if you like bands like Crowded House, you should really respond to this. It's a band called Nine Violets, and their new album, this is their second one, called Envy, that they just released a little while ago. Again, an indie release, but thankfully it's on CD rather than just download. And look who's here.
Hello, Rita. Stay away from Mr. COVID, please.
I figure if she hasn't gotten it yet, she's probably not going to.
Yeah, no, I'm just excited about getting that Nine Violets album the next time we're in Liverpool, because
nice.
they didn't have it yet in May. It's new.
I'm not sure if Cool Cat has this one, but they ought to. We'll have to talk to them about that. Anyway, we got a track from it now called God's Plan on Material Issues. Here we go. Yes, that was Nine Violets from Yorkshire, UK.
That's
And the track was called God's Plan. Oops.
Again,
What did you think?
I loved it, man. I really, it had a very had a very Rembrandt's kind of
I
sound.
see that too. Yeah, that
Yeah,
sort of that
yeah.
harmony duo thing going on.
Yeah, really good. Loved
So
it.
you could call them the Rembrandts of Yorkshire too. Either way, but
You get the crowded house. I get that's, you know, it's all really, it's really good. I like the harmonies a lot. I like the jangle build. That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Great band, great album.
Nine
Again, I don't know if it's on Cool Cat, but you can go to Nine Violets website and get it. I mean, you know, people, again, some people, even people in our world are not savvy enough. Some, I mean, many are, but some are not savvy enough to do that. And they only rely on one source. And, pardon me. And so they end up missing out on some things. When bands too, who aren't savvy enough necessarily to contact Cool Cat, I've recommended that several contact them, and then they do, and Ray decides what he wants to release, and I have a pretty good batting average, I'm gonna say.
I'd say so. Yeah.
I don't know what my OPS is or my WAR is with Ray, but we'll have to do a more sophisticated statistical analysis. But one band that doesn't need to be analyzed, and they've been around a long time. They were on a bit of a hiatus, but now they're back. They're called Lolas.
Mm-hmm.
And I always call them the Lolas because it just seems to fit. But no, they've always really just been Lolas. And they're from Birmingham, not Birmingham, UK, but Birmingham, Alabama, which is, stereotypically not the kind of place you'd expect a power popper to be from. But Tim Boykin, who's the main man, has been writing just the sweetest power pop for so many years. And he had a band called the Shame Idols, I think, who were just Shame Idols prior to Lola's, who were a little bit heavier power pop. Lola's has always been a little bit lighter, but make no mistake, there is power in their songs.
Yeah,
so this is their brand new album, and it happens to be on Cool Cat. Big hits and freak disasters, neither of which, unfortunately, are true. Well, we wouldn't want the disasters part, but the big hits would be nice. Anyway, this is the second track from the album, and it's called Shut Me Down, here on Material Issues. So for me, I mean, I think about that stuff, and it's like the oral equivalent of just eating something really sweet. It's just he's always been a big bubblegum fan too, and you can hear some bubblegum in there as well.
I would call it power gum.
Power gum. Oh, look at that! You've coined a hell of a phrase there.
You've heard
Power
it right
gum.
from Material Issues. The new phrase for very powerful bubble gum is power gum. There we go.
So Lolas are practitioners of power gum. You heard it here first. I think Mark needs to coin it. And
there'll be a T-shirt available on our website next week.
Should.
Power gum. That's classic.
I think Tim would like that a lot. He's always been he's a big comic book guy as well. A lot of Japanese comic books. So and they're very much into that sort of thing. So yeah, it certainly fits.
I absolutely love it. Lola's has always been that very power bubblegum kind of thing, and they do it really well. Yeah.
They do. And thankfully, after a pretty long hiatus, they're back. So that you can get on Cool Cat because it's on Cool Cat music label.
And that's all K's, KOOLKAT.
Music with a K as well.
SIK. CoolCatMusic.com.
So go and get your power gum while it's still there.
Power gum that does not lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight.
No, and you have a right to choose. If John Borak is still here, that was the name of his bubblegum tribute compilation that came out several years ago, but still holds up.
Great compilation.
Someone else who still holds up and he's still going strong as ever. He's got to be in his probably around mid 60s or late 60s, like me, maybe even a little older, is Marshall Crenshaw, who is out on tour as we speak, and our good friend Fernando Perdomo plays in his band. This is a collection on Yep Rock Records. David Shaw, everyone at Yep Rock deserves a nice shout out. And it's an album called From the Hellhole. And what it is a collection of stuff that he recorded about 10 to 12 years ago, but was never released. And it's a nice mixture of originals and covers. And I want to play one of the covers because it's a song that is definitely more obscure than it should be. And it's originally done by the Easy Beats, who of course were huge in their native Australia. They did have, of course, Friday on My Mind here, and that was a big hit. But beyond that, they barely charted. But in Australia, they had tons of hits, and in the UK too, I believe they did fairly well. Anyway, here's his version of the Easy Beats, "Made My Bed, Gonna Lie in It." Here we go. Marshall Crenshaw, Material Issues.
Tried so hard to be a man, a man, a man. I made my bed, now I gotta lie in it. It seems instead like I'm gonna die in it. Where did I go wrong? I tried so hard to see. I tried so hard to be a man, a man, a man. See my face, well, I really don't mind it. They all laugh, well, I didn't design it. Where did I go wrong? I tried so hard to see. I tried so hard to be a man, a man, a man.
very nice version of an obscure Easy Beats track called "Made My Bed, Gonna Lie in It" by the great Marshall Crenshaw on his brand new record called "From the Hellhole." These were songs that were recorded at a studio in Rhinebeck, New York, which is not far from where I was brought up, and it was called the Hellhole, meaning the studio, not the city. So yeah, this is a whole bunch of stuff that
sounded cool, man. That was very
other covers that he does on here. They Long to Be Close to You, believe it or not. I Just Want to Celebrate, the Rare Earth hit.
Wow.
Let's see what else. Didn't Want to Have to Do It, the 11 Spoonful song. Couldn't I Just Tell You, Todd Rundgren. And my favorite song by far by this band, Bobby Fuller 4, Never to Be Forgotten.
Oh, wow.
And he does, and he mixes that with some originals, which are very solid. So definitely worth it. It's on Yep Rock, so you can get it through your online distributors like Amazon, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, you should, in my opinion. Now we got some female power pop, a band called Mono Groove, and they have a brand new album also on Cool Cat called Popsicle Drive-Thru, and it just came out. Mono Groove is led by a woman named Rin Lennon, who, no, she's not related. Well, maybe she's like a 1,000th cousin of his or something. I don't know. But I've known about Rin for many years. She had a band in the 80s called On the Air. It was an all-girl group. They were on a great compilation called The Girls Can't Help It that Rhino put out in '84. And they had a song on there called Even Try, and I fell in love with it so much. At that point, I had no idea how to contact Rin, and I didn't. Then they put out an EP in '86, which was just as good. And then time went by, and suddenly she got a hold of me, or I got a hold of her, and Mono Groove was her new band at the time. It's now been about 20 years, but they played IPO for several years back in the day. Unfortunately, now they're more of a studio project, but they're still putting out great records. And, Rin has such an ear for pop, power pop in particular. So I'm going to play the first track from the album, and the track's called Hello, Everyone. It's on Popsicle Drive-Thru by Mono Groove here on Material Issues.
Since we've been here, it's not too late to save ourselves. This world's our home, our fate. You shouldn't hide if you're still alive to make it right.
Terry, thank you for joining us. That was Monogroove from upstate in California. And they've got a brand new album called Popsicle Drive-Thru. It's on the Great Cool Cat Records label. And that track was called Hello, Everyone. Lynn has always had a gift for melody and for power pop. And also I want to give a special shout out to her because when I post my videos from IPO, she's always commenting. We talk about people who are curious about learning things in the pop world. She's among the most curious people I've ever met. She'll hear a video, she'll play the thing on Spotify if she can find it. She'll say, "You just taught me about another band whose music I have to get." If only more people would do that. But
yeah, that's I don't know. It's a baffling thing to me, having grown up like you did, and hearing something, and then having to find out more, and then having to find out where I can buy it, and that is just was a way of life when I was young, and you don't see it that often anymore. My oldest daughter, does that with vinyl and with collecting things, and but you just don't see it. Different era, different time, different things, different everything. But yes. I'm glad I grew up when I did, and I'm glad that I got to go through that whole discovery process. And
and we still are, thankfully. There's so much more to learn, and there's so many avenues out there. You just got to do the work. It's not going to be spoon-fed to you. I mean, it'll be. Let's put it this way. The spoon will be out there, but you're going to have to move your head up to get it. It's not going to be stuck in your mouth. And some people don't even want to do that. But yeah, it's a shame, but it's their loss. Let's stay with the female theme here. Go ahead. Good friend of IPO for a while. I met her when we did IPO in Chicago, because back in the day, she had a band in Chicago that played it. Then she moved out to San Diego. And since then, she's put together another band under her name and has released several fine records. This is the latest one. It's called OCD, which I guess she has. I don't know that for a fact, but I assume if she's going to call it that, it means she has it, and I can certainly relate. I'm obsessive about so many things, including my collecting, and my obsession does manifest as compulsions all the time. So I can relate. But you know what? A lot of musicians have to be that way in order to be the kind of perfectionists they are and to put out the records that they really want. Anyway, this is her brand new one, OCD. She's really known more as a power pop artist than anything else, but on this album, she does a lot more kind of shoegazy stuff, which is great. A little bit of Riot Girl kind of sound, the mid-90s of female sound. But there's also some power pop on here, as always. And here's one of the tracks that I think is great. You Ruined This City for Me. And I don't know if she's talking about Chicago, San Diego, or an imaginative city out there in the ether. I don't know. But anyway, here's that track from Tamar Burke on Material Issues.
Say about it, have to be okay about it, or I might just cry about it.
some pretty swift power pop by Tamar Burke, song called "You Ruined This City for Me," from her new album OCD, which is on CD and vinyl. She's a really good marketer too. I mean, every time she plays live, she's all, anytime she's off stage, she's right near her merch, trying to convince people to buy her stuff, which doesn't take too much convincing because when she plays live, she's really good. What do you think of that track?
I really loved it. It's one of those tracks you play in the car while you're driving, and you accidentally again go over the speed limit and get a speeding ticket, which costs you $120 just to buy the album. But it's that you know who else was really good at marketing?
Say it again.
You know who else was really good at marketing? Rich Cole's wife. Remember Rich Cole?
Oh, Rich Cox.
Cox. I meant Cox. Sorry.
Damn. I unfortunately I wasn't the beneficiary of her marketing strategy like you were.
She was a great marketer.
Oh my God, I can't believe that. Well, I wouldn't have been, because I would not have had the balls to do what you did at that time. I might have now, but I wouldn't have then, and I didn't.
Oh Lord!
But you did, and you reaped the benefits.
Brought back some memories.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Anyway, like I said, great record. A bit more shoegazy in a lot of tracks, but she's such a talented singer-songwriter that you'll love it. Couple more new tracks, and then we'll do a couple of reissues. Let's see what we have here. All right, yeah, 2 more new tracks. A band who's been around for a while. They're from New York. They've played IPO virtually every year since I got connected with them. They're called Zombies of the Stratosphere, and they have a brand new record called Shot and Arrow. Now, you at first you think, well, if they're named Zombies, maybe they have Zombies of the Stratosphere. Maybe there's some strong influence by the Zombies. Not so much. I think most of their earlier stuff was more like early Kinksy influence. This album is probably the most rockin' they've ever done, actually, and I really like it. I'm very impressed. And where are the song titles? Oh, here we go. I'm going to play the first track from it, and it's called "If You're Into It," and I have a feeling you will be. Here we are, Zombies of the Stratosphere on Material Issues. the opening track of what I think is their best record to date. Zombies of the Stratosphere. It's called Shot and Arrow, and the track was If You're Into It here on Material Issues. I don't remember if Cool Cat has this, but you can certainly go to Zombies of the Stratosphere's website and pick it up there. I'm glad that they continue to put out CDs. They're old school like us, and I don't think they're ever going to give up on doing that. So I'm looking forward to seeing them at IPO New York this coming November at the Parkside Lounge, as always. And a big shout out to Jeff Hoffman and the rest of the band for doing these shows with us every year. It means a lot.
I like the keyboards in there. They're really good.
Yeah.
They're really spacey.
And it really started rocking at the end. That's by far the most rock. Again, their stuff reminded me a little bit more of like early Kinks, like some of their more, sort of sing-songy music hall like stuff. But now they're really rocking that power pop. So good for them. The last new current album I want to play, last but never least, because this band is and probably always will be among my top 10 favorite bands of all time. And I'm saying all time here, not of the 21st century, but all time. And it's the Nines, and their new album, self-released, called Echoes of Past Future. And I mean, of all the bands who haven't gotten more notoriety, recognition in this power pop world, this is the one which I'm, among the most puzzled by, because they're so good. How I discovered them was a happy accident. There's a band from Canada, from Toronto, called Universal Honey. You might remember them. Yep. It was led by the girls who sang background on In the Pursuit of Happiness. Yeah. So they formed their own band, put out some good records. I found out that they had a new record. This is right in 1996. I had just gotten email, in fact. So I emailed the publicist. Can't remember how I even know. Maybe I even called them. I don't remember. And they said, sure, I'll send you the Universal Honey. So the package shows up, and there's a note in there saying, I thought that you might like this also. And it was a band, The Nines, a band called The Nines, with their album Wonder World of Colorful. And I don't remember if I put that one on first, but immediately I just, the first song's called What Can I Do? And I couldn't believe how good it was. I was absolutely in shock and enthralled. And ever since then, I've had a love affair with this band. They've played IPO several times in Toronto, in LA. They played New York. Steve Eggers, the mastermind behind this band, is such a pop genius. And this new record is certainly, he likes to think of it as a pastiche to the 70s. And not that most of their other stuff wasn't, but there are definitely some hallmarks on here that certainly scream out 70s and particular 70s songs. Just a really, really great record. And if you're a melodic pop fan, that I could say there's really very little better, if anything. This is one of the tracks on it. It's called Summer's Never Been the Same by the Nines here on Material Issues.
Yourself to
That's one long fade. But I got to tell you, I mean, you know, the Nines have done nothing to dissuade me from loving them the way I always have. Great new record, Echoes of Past Future. The title, again, sort of giving away that they are trying to glean from the past and bring it into the future. Just one of the things I love about what Steve Eggers does in a lot of his songs is there's a lot of buildup in each verse has more than the preceding one. And he loves doing counterpoint vocals, which you could hear on this. And I mean, that just blows me away every time a band does that well, as they do. I mean, it's really his project, but when they play live, he has a band behind them.
I love the sound of that. I love the graphics. It's very 70s.
Oh yeah,
with the girl in the trucker hat and the cars, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And that long fade out.
Yeah,
that is really, really cool.
It's a lost art, but you know, again, he's trying to echo the 70s, and you know, in the 70s, you heard those.
We're hearing great stuff tonight, but I'll tell you, you're absolutely right. The Nines makes you scratch your head over all these years with all the great stuff they put out. You just are like,
well, he's not a marketer, although I have to say he's been using the Power Pop sites pretty well to market this one. I see him all the time posting in every one of them, and they don't play live very often. He's a studio cat. I mean, he will play live, and they have played live at IPO. Unfortunately, not this year, but they have several times. And but yeah, he's, you know, I think he's just satisfied putting out records that he loves, and you know, if people want to buy them, that's great. And
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just,
no.
as you say, it is so good. It's been so good for so long that you do scratch your head and say, why aren't they a household name? You know, even, you know, within the Power Pop community, like, you know.
I think that they do rank pretty high with a lot of people, but not as many as they should. No doubt about that.
Really well done, man.
Hopefully this record will change that. But before we play the reissues, that kind of brings up another thing that distresses me, and I'm sure you as well. The whole thing with the tariffs now. It's going to be very difficult for us to get albums from whether they be vinyl or CD, records from outside the U.S., particularly Europe. Some bands won't send them because they don't want to have to charge humongous amounts of shipping. They feel badly about it. Yep. You know, even if you tell them you're willing to pay it, they don't want to do it. And I think a lot of it is they don't want to support what Trump has instilled. And
labels are doing it. We've gotten the emails from them saying, we apologize, but we're no longer shipping, you know, to the United States. They're not even doing it, no matter what you want to pay.
Yeah. So I mean, I've talked to a few record stores about it. They've said so far it's been okay, but they're not getting that indie stuff that we're trying to get. Also, I think ultimately it's going to get to them as well. You know, you go to Discogs, and you told me about this. Discogs says it's not going to affect. That's not true. Yeah. It is. It already is. It wasn't supposed to affect records, but it's affecting the mindset of people who are putting out records and are selling them. And, you know, this year, I may have to abandon my rule about, you know, owning a physical release for it to make my list. I can't get it. And in that case, you know, thank God for a download, because that's going to be the only way.
Yeah.
And thank God they're not tariffing that. Who knows if that'll come to. Believe me, I wouldn't put it past anybody. I wouldn't put it past Trump to start tariffing downloads, so that something you pay $8 for is now going to cost $28.
He's probably going to start tariffing any loads.
Yeah, right. That's true.
It's interesting though. What's the record store that you find things from? They get it you seem to get it all the time before it's available.
Oh, you're talking about Dusty Groove in Chicago, getting the Cherry Red stuff, which actually plays into one of the things I'm going to play.
I wonder how that's going to affect like Dusty Groove and like even if they buy a lot, which they probably do, that's got to affect things. That's going to affect.
Well, I think so far it's hard to say. I've looked at the Cherry Red list of things coming out, and there really isn't much yet. But as we get closer to November, there's going to be a lot more. So we're gonna, I think in October, around 2 weeks out from the actual release date, we're going to find out just how adversely it's affecting them. But I've noticed they have gotten some UK stuff in that has been released recently. So it may not, they may be willing to do it. As you said, they do order a lot of copies. Maybe they're going to raise the price on us just a little bit to cover the shipping increase. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem. Now they say the tariffs are temporary, whatever that means. Temporary could mean 5 years. I mean, who knows? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But it's and I've already experienced it. I just ordered a box set from Amazon UK from the 60s band Nirvana. That was a great new box set. I had to pay $30 extra for a I forgot what it's called. I don't remember if they didn't use the word import charge.
Import charge.
In other words, I'm paying the tariff basically.
Right. Yep.
But I've called a bunch of record stores. None of them have it. So it comes down to a choice. If I want it, and that's the only way to get it, I either do it that way or I don't get it. In that case, I went for it. In other cases, I won't. And and I'm very liberal when it comes to that. So if I'm not going to go for it, think about everybody else who, is a little bit more, let's say, fiscally conscious than I am, and they're just not going to pay that extra money. They're just going to do without, or find it on Spotify if they can and deal with that. So I mean, has it affected you yet with anything you wanted to order through Discogs or anywhere else?
Well, it hasn't affected me like of what I haven't ordered yet, but I know there's a couple labels like Apollon. They put out some stuff that they've come right out. They've sent me the email saying, just so you're aware, we're not shipping to the United States at the present time till things change. So, I've not purchased anything overseas and been involved in any tariff issues or hike of prices, but I'm aware of places that I do check out looking for stuff, and they're not shipping now. So I can't order even if I wanted to. Some things, some of the places.
It's happening, unfortunately.
Indeed.
But I do have a couple of UK things that Amazon was able to get. But before I play them, I want to talk about an album that has just come out on Friday, and I believe the CD is coming out, and people have been waiting and waiting and waiting for this, but even waiting for vinyl, because there hasn't been a legitimate vinyl release of this album since it came out in the early 70s. And if you haven't figured it out yet, Buckingham Nicks.
Look at this.
Of course, with the, I think, I have to pull out my original cover, but wasn't there a bit of nipple showing? I don't remember.
I thought in the original cover there was.
There might be. So yeah, I mean, this was definitely, Stevie was certainly a masturbatory fantasy of many a young man and old man, I'm sure, as well. But this was, of course, before the incarnation of Fleetwood Mac with Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. But once they joined, once they signed to Warner Brothers, you would think that Warner Brothers would have gone to Polydor, which was the original label, and said, look, we want this. Well, the details about why the album had never come out are very, very sketchy. I mean, some of it, the truth probably is that Lindsey and Stevie for a long time just didn't want it out. I think they felt like it was the past. It wasn't represented. Fleetwood Mac was really happening. They didn't want people to see them the way they were.
Right.
Even though it's a very solid record, I think they thought it was just something they did for, because they loved each other, and that was that. It wasn't a success. So on that level, they probably didn't want to be associated with a non-success. So I'm feeling like that's the reason. Although in interviews with both of them in about 10 years ago, they were both talking about, well, maybe it's time. At this point, what do they care? They've had all the success they're going to have.
Right.
It doesn't matter. They probably, anyway, well, for one reason or another, it's finally happened. And there are vinyl variants on this. This is the Amazon yellow vinyl exclusive. I also have a light blue vinyl that I bought from Amazon. Rhino Records is the label that was bestowed the honor of putting this record out. Do you own it in any form?
No, I don't have the original vinyl. No.
Have you heard the record?
Yeah, I think my brother had it. I mean, I had access to it, but I don't actually own it.
It was going for 3 figures for a while, original copies. If they were mint or mint minus. The one thing that's puzzling, I mean, as much as they didn't want to put it out, they did take a song from it, Crystal, and put it on their first album as Fleetwood Mac. And I think they made the wrong choice. I mean, Crystal's is an all right song, but there are a lot of better tracks from that album they could have picked, especially Crying in the Night, which is beautiful. But that's not the one they did. They took Crystal and put it on the Fleetwood Mac album. Anyway, it's out now. I don't think the CD's out yet. I think it's coming out maybe in a week or two. Wow. But the vinyl is there, and cool. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of people who are going to snarf that one up. So if you're thinking about doing that, you probably should act quickly. But like I said, there are definitely variants out there. I think there's a black vinyl as well, and there'll probably be other colors. Who the hell knows? I mean, Rhino will milk this thing, and Amazon and probably Target and everybody else will have their own variant, and they'll milk it for all it's worth.
Barnes and Noble has the nipple peach variant.
Now that would be good, yeah. I'm trying to remember. No, I actually don't have the album handy. I actually own a promo copy of it. So I think the promo copy came with it came with some vaginal hair inside in a bag, kind of like the Kinks Then, Now, and In Between had Village Green Grass in it.
Yeah,
this had Steve. The promos had Stevie's vaginal hair, but
that is, I mean, that's one of the best photos of her.
Yeah. So anyway, there we have that. But now let me talk about a couple of things from which I'll play a track. There's a Chrysalis Records, who most people think of when they think of Chrysalis. They think of Jethro Tull, UFO. A lot of 70s bands that did prog or hard rock. But there are a few poppy things as well. And Chrysalis has a new series called Red Series. These are the first 2 releases on the Red Series. And I got to give them credit, because these are 2 releases that, are hardly going to make them a lot of money. Because, it's things that people have either forgotten about or didn't care that much about in the first place. One of the bands is from the UK. They're both from the UK. This is Clouds. Clouds was a pop, prog, kind of whimsical, quirky band from the UK who released 3 albums. And in fact, if you want to go the CD route, this just came out on Chrysalis Records. It's a collection of three discs that has their 3 albums plus tons of demos, the demos are probably better than what's on the record, actually, on the records. But this is the only one so far that they've done on vinyl. And I'm going to play a track from it, if I can find it, called Ladies and Gentlemen. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I make this speech,
thank you all for the meal. I won't try to conceal my thoughts to say what isn't true, but I must point out some facts which I feel may apply to you. Each day, since walking on the ring and walking in the afternoon, on and on you go till soon. You're entertaining all your friends and constantly on your feet. You burn a candle at both ends. You're trying hard to make ends meet. Outside the ladies and gentlemen, the ones that left the square there in a phone booth. In the mirror I saw a face. For a minute I couldn't place it, cause the eyes were so forlorn. The face was white and waxen, and I knew it as my own. Each day, since walking, talking, drinking, walking in the afternoon, on and on you go till soon. Coffee in the afternoon, gets cold late at night. You burn a candle at both ends. You're trying not to put out the light. Ladies and gentlemen, unaccustomed as I am to making public speech, I hope I haven't talked too long. I realize I do go on sometimes, and a short speech is the best. But I know I feel a little better now that I've got it all off my chest. Each day, since walking, talking, drinking, walking in the afternoon, on and on you go till soon. Coffee in the afternoon, gets cold late at night. You burn a candle at both ends. You're trying hard to put out the light. Each day, since walking, talking, drinking, walking in the afternoon. Each day, since walking, talking, drinking, walking in the afternoon. Each day, since walking, talking, drinking, walking in the afternoon.
Well, that definitely sounds like 1969 UK. For lack of a better word, I'll call it that Bee Gees sound that was happening back then. But they're a little bit quirkier, a little bit more whimsical on some other songs. And then, as their career progresses, they get more and more proggy, but, melodic prog, not heavy prog. So again, they have 3 albums, and they're all good. If you want to get them, this is the best way to go. This just came out. Again, all 3 of their albums, plus tons of demos on Chrysalis. Somehow Amazon had this, and they also had the record. So I got both. The other part of the Red series is an album I really like, by an artist I really like, and that's Brian Prothero. Are you familiar with him?
Not at all. Yeah, we talked a little earlier about this, and I'm not that familiar with him. No, I don't.
Our buddy Spaz loves them as well. Him, rather. Brian Prothero is known in other circles for being a trained classical actor. Theater actor. So he did a lot of theater, and he's also been in some movies. But in the mid-'70s, he decided to he had the muse to do some records, and he did 3 albums on Chrysalis. This one, called Pinball, is the debut. The title song was a decent-sized hit in the UK, but none of them really sold well, and ultimately he just decided to go back to acting. I would love to get him on the show. I've talked to him about it. He just seems sort of reluctant to be on camera these days, although recent photos, he looks real. I mean, he was always kind of a dashing-looking guy, and he still is. So that's not the reason. Anyway, I love especially the first 2 records, this one and Pickup. I hope they do a reissue of that. Here's a track from this album called Money Love, and you'll see kind of that sort of theater feel that this song has. So here's Brian Prothero from his debut album, Pinball, just reissued on Chrysalis. The song's called Money Love here on Material Issues.
Did you know, did you know, did you know there was a man? Tell a lie, tell a lie, tell a lie while you can. Can you feel, can you feel, can you feel money love? Is it real, is it real, is it real money love? Money love can help you on, heal you and sustain you, but never turn your back upon how money love can change you. Satisfy, satisfy, satisfy if you can. Tell a lie, spend a lie, tiny man. Money love will fill your hand, feed you and obey you. But very softly you must tread, or in the ground she will lay you. Did you know, did you know, did you know there was a man? Tell a lie, tell a lie, tell a lie while you can. Can you feel, can you feel, can you feel money love? Is it real, is it real, is it real money love?
As much as I love that song, I probably should have played something a little bit more whimsical and lively, because Money Love, I mean, there are a few songs on there like that one, but something like Clog Dancer or Kino Tata, or one of the ones that, again, where he just kind of lets his hair down, as it were. But man, I got to tell you, what a voice he had.
That's a great headphone song. Got earbuds in, so I hear the stereo separation and panning back and
A
forth.
little bit of ping pongy, yeah.
Really good, yeah.
It's a wonderful record. I would certainly recommend that and Pick Up, his second one. UI, which is his third one, a little bit more out there. I don't think it's focused enough compared to the first two. I remember a box set of his came out in the mid-'90s. I wrote a review of it and somehow was able to get it to him. And I remember he responded with an email saying, I was bashed by Bash. And I said, what do you mean bashed? I said great things about it. I just said that UI was just, or IU rather, was just a little bit less focused. Now, he was just teasing me. He really liked the review. I think he may, I mean, back then, I don't know where there was an avenue to post something, but I think he actually did, maybe on his website or whatever. But
AOL chat rooms, the AOL.
Yeah, but he has a page on Facebook. I'm going to try again to get him on the show. I mean, given his acting career and his singing career, and I have a feeling, just based upon what I view to be his personality, I think he'd be a very fun guest, and would add a little class to what we're doing. Anyway, that's that. So those are the records we've
It's
got.
great night of great music.
And there'll be more next week
yeah.
because we don't have a guest currently. And so unless we get somebody who's like really amazing, we will probably just do the same thing. And we were going to do a Stump the Bash this week, but I'm starting, as I have COVID, it's now getting into the evening hours, and I'm feeling my temperature rising a bit. And that'll probably come with the accompanying chills, and nothing that bad, fortunately, but it's there. And I don't want to be affected by that. So let's just wait till next week. But we do have some guests coming up.
We've been running an hour and 45 minutes anyway. But before we get to guests, real quick, you told me that you got some stuff off of Discogs by the Leslies. You found some of the stuff.
Thanks to you. Yes.
I just happened to see my stack here. Here's my stack of Leslies.
Wow.
There you go.
I just got the 3 full lengths, but you've got singles and EPs. For those who weren't watching when you first introduced them, they're a Swedish pop band from the late 90s, early 2000s that released 3 really good records and some singles. And Mark is probably the foremost expert on those guys. I don't know. Do you know what they're doing these days?
I can't find anybody. I can't find any of the band members online. I can't find the presence for them.
Hate that.
Well, I don't know. I told you there's the one EP that I can't get. It's like going $335.
Yo, really? So wow. So someone's willing to pay that? That's amazing. But there's always
very limited.
If you're rich enough and you want something, the problem is, money can't create it, no matter how much money you have, unless you just want to, pay a factory to do a reproduction. But then you'll know, no matter how much money you have, you'll know it's not an original. So if you want an original and someone has one and they're charging a lot and you can afford it, it comes down to, do you want it or not? Yeah. And some people will pay the price. The credo of most of the sellers who do this is 99.999 etc. percent of the people can think I'm crazy, but if I can find that 0.0001 who'll buy it, that's all I need. And so the rest of the world can go fuck off. That was the attitude of a few people who owned record stores back in the day, who I worked for, who had really rare stuff. It was basically, someone's going to think you're nuts for paying $1,000 for this Indonesian Beatles album, but I just need one person. If I get the one person, then the rest of the world again can go fuck off. That was his attitude, and it worked. If you got the goods, it works. If you don't have the goods, it doesn't work. But if you got them, it works. That's why the Hannes Wagner card, I guess the Mike Trout card that we talked about a couple of weeks ago from 2007. It's one of one. It's his rarest card. There's a very wealthy Mike Trout collector. That was the only card he didn't have. It was going, and I think the seller knew that the guy was rich, and he ended up paying $12 million. Is it worth $12 million? Probably not even close. But it's a guy who has he's got disposable income like very few other people, and it came down to it. Did he want it or not? If he wanted it, that's what he had to pay. It was only one card, and nothing he could do.
I saw a YouTube video a week ago or so about something talking about this, but someone I don't even know what card they had of somebody, and they were like, "But this is a one of one. It says one of one on the back," and the person talking to him said, "There's thousands of one of one cards out there. It's like everybody who makes cards makes a one of one, and So I get baffled a little bit about, I understand vintage. Vintage. There's only so many that were made in 1949 on the play ball, or 39 on the play ball, so whatever, and then there's only so many that aren't beaten the fuck up, and then there's only so many. But when it's a brand new like Leaf Collectibles and they put out and they just stamp an Otani card one of one, it automatically makes it worth a heck of a lot of money, and it's just a piece of cardboard that they decided to call one of one.
Well, that be that as it may, if you're rich enough and and you need that, if you're a collector, if you're a fervent collector, if it means more to you than your family, and you've got the money, you've got two choices. It really comes down to it. There's only one of those cards. The seller has it. You can't do a damn thing about it. I mean, maybe you can hire a hitman to do away with them, but are you going to get the card? I don't know. But if you really want the card, you either buy it from that guy for what he wants to sell it for, or you do without. And if you're rich enough, you don't want to do without.
Where's the rich guy that wants our material issues collector card set we're going to put out next year? Right?
Well, we're going to have to do one of one.
We're going to have to do one of one. Yes.
And we're going to have to be able to license somebody that a rich person cares about. I'll have to give Mike Trout a call and say, Mike, can you do me a solid here? Because I'll tell you what, Mike, here's what I'm going to do. I know that there's that collector out there who has to have every card of yours. So if you release the licensing to me for this card and he buys it for 10 million, you get 7 million of it. Why not? Maybe he would do it.
I know.
I mean, I'd be happy to do that.
It's baffling. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's how it is. So anyway, let's talk about the guests we have coming up. Well, we're really excited about this one.
Yeah.
On October 5th, you'll know him as, well, it's hard to say what he really was in this band because the story is very interesting. He was not the lead singer. He was not a songwriter. He was a trumpet player in the band. But his mom was managing the band, and she basically said, and she convinced the band that she had expertise. And maybe she did. I mean, obviously, they did pretty well for themselves for a while. So she said basically to the guys, if you want me to manage you, we're going to have to name it after the band after my son. And indeed, that's what they did. And the name of the band is Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods. No, Bo was not the lead singer, just like Elvin Bishop was not the lead singer of the Elvin Bishop group. It happens sometimes. Anyway, and I remember being in college one time, and we're watching a video or a live performance of Fool Around and Fell in Love. And I knew Mickey Thomas was singing lead. And he goes, man, that Elvin Bishop has a great voice.
Right.
And I said, well, it's not. That's Elvin Bishop playing guitar over there. This is Mickey Thomas. And of course, he gave me a dirty look, like, how dare you contradict me? I'm cooler than you. So I get to be right even when I'm wrong. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So anyway, but the real story about Bo Donaldson was, he was a trumpet player. I guess he probably did some background vocals, but he didn't sing lead. And I have to look up who the lead singer was. But they had two very big hits in this country. Of course, Billy, Don't Be a Hero was number one. A lot of people, especially if you fancy yourself cool, didn't like that song. And I have to admit, I don't love it. I'm not going to turn it off if I hear it. But it went to number one. And Paper Lace, who did The Night Chicago Died and had a number one hit with that in this country, did the original version of Billy Don't Be a Hero, which went to number one in the UK. So they definitely did the right thing by covering that one. That is Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods. And then later on in 1974, they had a not quite as big a hit, but big enough with Who Do You Think You Are, which I love.
Right.
I think most pop fans really love that song. That was written and recorded by Jigsaw, who eventually had the big hit in the U.S. with Sky High. But this was prior to that. And by the way, if you're a collector of 70s stuff, early Jigsaw albums, you need to find them. Believe me, they're not as disco-y as what Jigsaw became. They're just solid pop albums. Yeah. Got to find those. At any rate, so we're going to have Bo Donaldson, who's just a super guy. Yeah. And he actually gave me a call a few days ago out of the blue saying, I want to do your show. Wow. So we will have Bo on October 5th, and I'm sure he'll have some great stories.
Takes me back, man. Phew.
It really does.
Oh.
All right. So on the 12th, we don't have a guest currently, but on October 19th, since you really like this show, that this gentleman was involved with. Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, I mean, I don't know the pre-story to I know that he was producing the show on MTV that what's the word I'm looking for? Predated Oddville. But I forget the name of that show.
I thought it post-dated it.
No, I think it.
Am I wrong? Oh, all right.
Oddville post-dated this other show.
Right. All right. That, yeah. Wait, which was the one on MTV?
They both were. This
all right.
Oddville came after the original show he had on MTV that he produced. Am I correct? He produced it.
It's called Beyond Vaudeville, I guess.
Yeah, Beyond Vaudeville. Beyond Vaudeville.
He was a senior. He was a senior producer of it.
So that was like early. It was kind of like Uncle Floyd kind of stuff. Indie television type thing, which was very cool. And then after that, he went on to produce this thing called Oddville, which was on MTV. It was only on for a year. And it was just the quirkiest, like I forget the host's name of the show, but he was just the very nerdy tie, big glasses, pompadours, little hair type of thing. And they had a co-host, this woman, Melissa, I forget her last name, Gerber, Melissa, I forget. But I had such a crush on her. And I have to ask, what's our guest name? Korn. What's his first name?
Steve Korn.
Steve Korn. I have to ask him about whatever happened to her because I didn't miss an episode of that.
Hey, he might be able to give you her number.
Because they had a lot of between the vaudeville show and the Oddville show, they had a lot of great musical guests. And he sent us an email the other day with his YouTube channel link of all the guest performances and tons of great artists before they really were, blew up, and they had them all on those shows. So he's been involved in a lot of things.
Always behind the scene. He also worked for MLB Network.
But yes,
but again, not on television, just getting stats prepared and things like that. So he's done a lot in TV. And the fourth thing was he worked on the new version of You Bet Your Life, the show that Groucho Marx made famous.
Right.
I don't remember who the host of. We have work to do. In other words, this was someone we just got.
Yeah,
so we haven't had time to research it quite yet, but that's what he was involved with.
And what's his? He's got a new project. He emailed.
Well, I think he's doing a show that's an homage to, I think it's Oddville, or maybe Beyond Vaudeville. I'll ask him again. We'll have this all right by the time he's on September 19th. But Steve Korn will be our guest on the 19th.
Yeah, he's
very interesting guy.
Yeah, it's going to be a very cool show.
Yeah, very interesting guy who has a rich history in TV. But again, people don't know him because he's always been behind the scenes. And then on what did I say the date was? November 16th.
November 16th, yeah.
But actually November 17th in Australia, where this gentleman resides. We're gonna have the main man of a great power pop band called Ice Cream Hands, who have a brand new record coming out. So he has something to promote. His name's Charles Jenkins. And if you've never heard Ice Cream Hands, The Good China, their album from 2007, that was my favorite of the year. It's a great record, and they've had others since, and they're all wonderful. He's just got a gift, and I haven't heard the new one yet. It's not available, but there's been promo for it. I have no doubt that this will be an excellent record as well. So we'll have Charles on. We'll play some tracks as we usually do when our guest has a new record and like that. So so October 5th. October 19th and November 16th, we have booked currently. Irons in the fire, as always.
Always. We've had a couple just in the last week pop up. I thought we were close, and then things went a little haywire, as they do sometimes when managers.
Yeah, I mean, really, both of us.
And it is what it is. You keep trying, you keep throwing darts. I was talking to, I won't even mention it, but I was talking to David pre-show about somebody I've been corresponding with the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Hilarious, but I don't know that it'll work out because just because of technical things. But
Right.
but we try. We try to.
You got to try, and as my buddy from the Raz Band, Michael Rosigno says, I always, he got Joey Molland when he was 17. He got Joey Molland to play in the band with him. I said, "How did you do it?" He said, "I asked him."
I asked. him.
Sometimes you just have to. Sometimes you got to take the bull by the horns. A lot of people, I don't want to bother them. They're too busy, or they won't want to be on my show. They're too big, or blah 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 blah. Yeah, sometimes that is the case. When you just ask someone, you're going to get rejection also, but you're also going to get some successes every now and then.
Yeah,
and, you just gotta go. You just gotta take a shot. And
we've had a lot of great successes here on this show. We've brought a lot of interesting guests, and
we've had some pretty darn big hits. Our musical guests, and then other people have done other notable things. But yeah, you just got to ask. Some of these people are very nice, and they do have control of their career.
Yeah.
So they don't have people out there making decisions for them. And then there are some people who I had to send to the cornfield, but we won't go there anymore.
But don't.
But his loss. What can I tell you? Anyway, we're at the 2-hour mark. I'm starting to feel a little bit chilled here, and not in a good way. So let me get going and take some Tylenol and just kind of relax, and hopefully this COVID will work itself out fairly soon, like it usually does, and I'll be good as new before the weekend.
Remember, everybody, believe in Power Gum. And
Power Gum.
And
you need to post that. Excuse me. My voice is going. We better hit it. But feel better.
Yeah.
Good luck with everything. Definitely good luck with the ablation surgery that you've had. Good luck with the kidney stones. I hope they pass without much issue, material or otherwise, and just stay well and love. I'm going to say it first. Love to Ches and Audie. Love to Rena. Be well, David. We'll see everybody back here next Sunday where we will have a Stump the Bash. Materialissues.com. Go over there to YouTube. Subscribe. Spread it around to your friends. Tell everybody the archives. 220 shows exists. Go check it out. We'll see everybody next week. Have a super night. Spread it around to your friends. Don't spread COVID, but spread material issues. All right, everyone. Take care.